All right, Martin and Laura, let's start with this question. Since we spoke last a week ago, any revelations, and then we'll get into what the homework was like. What's been coming up for you guys?
Do you want to start?
Oh, you can go.
Okay. Personally, I had a really big week. I found a lot out about myself, and about the belief systems I have.
Do you want to share a little bit?
Well, I really questioned whether or not do I really want to be in this? Do I really want to fix this relationship? Because as much as I say I do, I don't act like I do. I really watched myself this week, and I'm like, I don't act like I want to be in this relationship.
Yeah. That's really interesting. So, pulling from curiosity, not judgment, what's the revelation there? So you're saying logically, I say I want to fix this, but the actions are not lining up. You know, you're not, your body's not doing it. And so what's the revelation from that?
Well, I've had some revelations just seeing that my nervous system is really just, it's not okay right now. I'm learning to regulate myself. The revelation in that is, well, actually, it was through one of your podcasts with Sarah Baldwin I found some of her work as well. So that's been really helpful. I've been checking that out. We've discovered some new work for Martin and I to do, actually. Like you were talking about the homework. After we hung up with you, we both kind of realized that last week we were really dysregulated after that session. Like it really,
how so?
We've never,
I was totally dissociated, and it took me days after to be able to like get back. It took me a while actually to pinpoint it, but yeah.
What do you think happened? Was it more of like a stirring, and when you say disassociated, or was it like, wait, what do we sign up for? What do we do? Like it was almost like emotional whiplash kind of thing. Like, oh wait, you guys doing it and then realizing, wait a minute, what did we sign up for? Why did we do that? You know, what was the dissociation?
Well, I mean, just I'm not someone that's on social medias. I got nothing. Yeah, and I don't want to. I don't really like to be seen.
Yeah,
like out, you know. Yeah. So it took a lot to be able to communicate, and like it was super draining. I have a little bit of a hard time expressing myself a lot of the time. I'm a lot better than I was. But yeah, just doing that made me realize that I had a lot of work to do on that end of things. Yeah.
Yeah, and what you guys are, you guys signed up for something that's kind of a social experiment. So if you're not used to this, of course, I don't want to deny that's or minimize that's also kind of strange in this whole equation too. So yeah, I get it. Martin, let me ask you, for you, what was the revelation this week? So if for Laura, her realizing the activation of her nervous system, but also that even though she's saying that she wants to be in this relationship, that she's not putting action behind it, right? What about you? What happened this week? Any insights?
Yeah. Well, I mean, that whole question of do I want to be in this is always present, right? I think it's an ongoing thing for everybody. I don't per se, like not for our relationship in particular, but I think in general. And I think that with everything we've gone through, and especially like just talking about it a little bit more lately, it's just, made me reflect on how I'm showing up a little bit more, and being on online with you opened up doors. She discovered some other some other help,
that's great.
And with that, well, this through watching podcasts and stuff, I was able to find a book that's talking a little bit more about invalidating your spouse and stuff like that, you know. So I'm currently reading it, so it should help me, because I think that's one of the main issues I have.
Do you do you feel the same way as far as being in this relationship, Martin? Are you also ambivalent and not sure? Is your body contradicting what the words?
I think so. I think we're both kind of in the same nervous system dysregulation thing there.
Well, we've spent so much time in survival mode. Yeah. And we're coming out of it now, and we're realizing, like, it's not dangerous. But we've felt like we've been under threat for so long.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, it's really hard to feel safe.
Sure. I mean, the question is, when you guys are out of survival mode, or if you guys can get out of there on your own, what would this relationship look like? I mean, if you guys are not in survival mode and very grounded and centered, and the relationship doesn't feel honest to you, that's very telling. Or coming out of survival mode may help the relationship, in that the relationship then may align, you know, because you guys were in survival mode, fight or flight, reactive, that kind of thing. But I don't know, because you guys are still kind of, you're saying you guys are realizing you're still in survival mode, right?
Well, I think I'm coming out of it. I'm realizing that I don't really want a relationship with someone who can't be authentic with me. I don't want to keep myself small anymore. I don't want to keep myself quiet. I want to have my opinions. I want to be able to have my own personality.
Wait, real quick. I know he has been inauthentic. I know there's been infidelity and broken trust, but as far as the present moment, is he still, in your opinion, struggling to be authentic with you? Or are you talking about the past?
No, I'm talking about right now, but more in a sense of, is he able to tell me about what's going on? Is he able to talk to me now? Is he, like, he doesn't necessarily feel safe to open up.
So ask Martin. Ask Martin if he's able to do that, and Martin, respond to her.
Are you able to, like, do you feel safe to open up and really be vulnerable and tell, like, the whole truth? Or do you keep some stuff back because you're afraid it's gonna be too much?
Yeah, I'm being as transparent as I can. It's my feelings that I don't know about. A lot of times that just keeps me back. Yeah. It's just how I feel about certain things, the way that I'll say, I don't know. I don't have any examples because, well,
well, we're learning how to communicate now. Like, we're learning how to talk to each other and how to speak up for ourselves as well.
So what I'm hearing Martin say is, it's not so much that he's not being transparent; it's a struggle for him to express how he feels, which, you know, it stems back with, you know, to his story, upbringing and all that. So when I wonder if what you're expecting from him is something that he has the ability to do, or the way that you want that from him.
I just want him to be himself. I want him to feel safe to be himself.
Is he not being himself?
I think a lot of the times he's trying to be who thinks I want him to be.
Martin, what are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, to an extent, I think that's true. Avoid conflict as much as possible, and because conflicts means shutting down, means days of getting back to myself after. It's really hard. I'm just getting to know about tools now to regulate myself, I suppose, and to come back to myself. And
you said something really important and also very common in relationships. People, as a reaction, avoiding conflict. And so to break that pattern, you got to lean into conflict. It doesn't mean to go into it reactive or throwing chairs or you know, assassinating character. And it doesn't mean to do it in a toxic way, but whenever there's conflict or discomfort, instead of the tendency to run from it, to actually lean into it. So what would that look like, Martin, if you were to lean into conflict instead of avoid it?
Well, communicating your feelings is one thing for all, I suppose, and just being attentive to what she's trying to communicate with me. Also, it's a whole new world for us because we've never actually fought before. We didn't know. We don't. We still actually kind of
because you've been avoiding.
Don't know how to fight, I guess.
Yeah.
So, but like have a healthy fight. It's funny to say, but
no, you're absolutely right. It's not about how many times we fight; it's about how we fight. Fighting can actually build trust. You know, when you give your body the experience that you could have a conflict and come out the other side, still loving each other and understanding each other more. You could also agree to disagree, but still that the fight doesn't bring the plane down. When you give your body that experience, there's trust that happens.
Yeah.
You know? Yeah. So Martin, I want you to take away that, here's the thing. We want to break patterns, right? That's where growth lives. And if your pattern is to avoid, the work for you in this, if you choose to invest, is actually not to avoid conflict, not to avoid the when you feel that, to actually lean into it. And so you're telling me that what that looks like is expressing yourself. I think that's where you got to begin. I think that's where you got to like put a lot of reps in, you know?
Yeah.
It seems like you're starting that already.
Yeah. We have actually, well, for the past little bit, slowly, very, very slowly. It's like something you ease yourself into, I suppose, right? If not, it's just too much for my system, and then it just shuts. It just shuts down. I don't shut down; it shuts down, and then it's a lost cause until the next time.
Yeah,
you know, and
yeah.
And
then while he works on that, Laura, what do you want to work on?
Probably showing more curiosity about him, and instead of if I want him to open up, maybe just try and show some more curiosity.
If you guys are both ambivalent about this marriage and you're unsure, what's going to motivate you to like roll the sleeves up? Or is it going to be like chess, where you just kind of look at the other person and see what their move is, and then here's your move, and then you know what I'm saying? What's going to be the motivating factor?
Yeah,
right. Which is ambivalence, and like doesn't feel like love. It feels like this is convenient, and this is us reacting to someone else's move, right? So, you tell me what the motivation is if you guys are both kind of like on the fence.
Actually, this morning I was journaling, and I realized that when I was younger, I wanted a love that could withstand anything. And I think the motivation for me is the fact that there's only one way to gain a love like that, and that's to have it tested in every way possible. So if I want a love that can overcome anything, it has to be put through everything.
Okay. And so are you approaching this as a test?
I think it's possible.
Yeah.
I think it's possible, and I think that there is something amazing on the other side of this. I think that if we really both invest ourselves in this, not for each other, not even necessarily for the relationship, but just for ourselves, commit to ourselves that I want to have a lifelong partnership with this person. Like I know them, they know me. Like I miss my friend.
Yeah.
Martin, what are your thoughts on what you just said? I miss my friend.
Yeah, no, it's true, because I always said before that she was my best friend, and we wanted to do so many things together, but life kept us from doing that a little bit, having kids young and just responsibilities overall. And I mean, now that we're coming out of that, literally, with just not having to be there physically all the time, and it's yeah, it feels like it's on its way, but it's not something I'll just show up on its own. I still have to work for it. But yeah, I miss hanging out and just having fun. It seems like it's something that we haven't had in a minute.
How can you guys have that's such a great it's a great reminder for everyone. How can you guys start having fun again? Not that you are going to stop what you're doing as far as all this work, but how are you guys going to inject some fun? Because both of you guys miss each other as friends.
Yeah. Well, like we like to go on hikes a lot and stuff like that, but that satisfies only a certain portion of your of our relationship, like just
I think we need a social life.
I mean, one of the big things that we talked about was the pressure you guys put on each other because you guys don't have any friends. I mean, meaning you guys don't have any social life or a life out. So you guys have created this island. I think part of this is having your own life where you're able to actually miss each other a little bit,
Well, I think we kind of, for the last 20 years, we've kind of lived our own separate lives.
But together.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And kind of unaware of what the other person was really up to, like we lived side by side and we were just trying to raise the kids.
Yeah. Right. Yeah.
And now we've got to the end of it and it's like our kids are gone and we're facing the truth of what's been. And I think we're both able to forgive the infidelities and, the big mistakes that we made that I think if even if we had changed partners throughout the last 20 years, these are things we would have lived through anyway, probably. We've just lived through them together. And I think sorry, I went off on a tangent.
No, that's okay, of course. Can I ask you this? This is a very direct question, something that I ask clients often. Why are you with Martin? So one, friendship.
There are a lot of answers.
Yeah. What comes to mind?
Some of them are because I depend on him. In
what ways?
Financial right now.
Okay.
I think that's the one that bothers me.
Yeah.
That I depend on him financially.
Okay.
But
what other reasons?
Besides that, I'm with him because
I mean, look at this guy.
Who? What?
No, me. I mean, look at me. Seriously,
he's kind and he's smart and he's funny. And he is willing to change and he's willing to grow and he wants to find himself.
Martin, how do you feel when hearing this? You said, "Oh," when she called you kind and funny. Yeah, it's just nice. It's not something I hear often, but yeah, it's and there's some truth in what she's saying, and it's nice.
Wait, stop. Give me some feeling statements. How does that feel when you're hearing that from her, especially if you don't get it often?
I missed that.
He said,
how do you feel? How do you feel when she says you're kind and funny? How does it make you feel?
It makes me feel very good, actually. It makes me feel all fuzzy.
Yeah, I'm asking you this because I want you to practice feeling words. Do you know what I'm saying? Instead of just kind of skipping, going to logic. When I say how does it make you feel, I want you to kind of soak into your body and really like ask yourself, how does that make me feel? Oh, it makes me feel seen. It makes me feel desired. It makes me,
Yeah.
I mean, fuzzy's okay too, but just describe it more.
It's and it made me makes me feel appreciated in some way, I suppose, too, because of the effort that I'm doing.
So wait, hold on, because I was slow this down. So because you feel appreciated, you feel fuzzy right now because of what she said. How does that change? How does it impact your heart and your feelings toward her and this relationship? in this micro
Well, I mean,
moment?
it's a positive feedback to want to keep this going, I suppose, right? And
that's logically, that's what it is. I see that. How does that change your state and how you feel about the relationship, even if it's a little bit? When you're hearing this, what changes for you internally, if anything? What's the feeling?
No.
Like, does it make you want to bounce? Does it make you want to end this? Does it make you love her more? Like, what?
Oh,
what,
no. No, it makes me want to keep this going and obviously keep working on what we have going. Yeah.
I'm trying to show you guys that things like that, and I could tell you were thirsty for that, is fuel, right?
Okay.
And I think, Laura, some of the things that you're going to need is, I don't know what he's going to say or do, but when you feel safe, you may feel closer to him. Or it may, inject some hope, or you start to believe in this. Because if you guys are playing chess and you guys are together for, some logical reasons, and you guys feel like you haven't really, played this out, and you want to know what's on the other side, which I think is powerful. That's great. You guys have to both create spaces where the feeling, this generation of, oh, I like how that made me feel. I'm hopeful. I'm here. I want more of it. You know what I'm talking about? And I think they're going to come in little micro moments. They're not going to be big things. They're going to be moments like when Laura says to you, Martin, that you're kind and you're appreciated, that she appreciates you, or, all these things. So moments like that, what are some moments you think Laura would need or need to experience to feel kind of the same thing, closer in belief in the relationship? Martin or Laura, whatever.
Well, for what I know, anyways, from what I've been told and from what I've seen, is just speak her love language. She loves. She's been asking for date nights, and which is I haven't really been providing to make her feel important, seen, and wanted, and in the same way that I assume being spoken to like she just did made me feel, right. And and just having her felt validated in her feelings also, because that's a thing that I do a lot, is I don't do it on purpose, but it's something I'm trying to make myself more aware of, and to change that.
I think also what Laura wants is for you to express your state and be authentically you.
Right.
That's what.
Yeah, let me know what's going on. Like, don't make me use my imagination. Yeah. Please don't make me use my imagination.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
Martin, let me ask you now, why are you in this?
I'm in this because I'm a firm believer that I was meant to be with her in some way. Like, we met so young, and like, it was difficult, and seriously, it's like a I don't want to say like a challenge, but like it's been challenging, and the fact that it has been challenging, I know that there's something behind all of that, and she's just like, she's helped me grow so much in the past little bit. Like, she's the smartest person I know. And she really is someone that wants the best for the people that she cares the most for. And she's helping me discovering myself, I suppose, and in all of this. And this is like the fact that she believes in me, even though half the time I'm not showing her that she like, not that she should, but like, like, I'm not providing the right feeling that's supposed to come with that. But yeah. But yeah, no, just I know that she cares about me, and that's important to me. That's and I don't know. It's a really big question.
So moving forward, what are you guys going to do to try to get to the other side? To be in this long enough where you guys aren't activated, so you could see what is honest in the relationship. You know, if survival mode and that dysregulation we're talking about is making things cloudy, once that settles, you'll see the truth of what's here, and then build on that, which we've been calling the other side. So, what are both of you guys going to do moving forward?
Well, I know for myself, I've started this routine where I tell myself I have to wait, regulate, and review. So I have to like step away from the situation if I feel myself getting activated. And then I regulate myself. I use somatics. I have a list of tools that I use. And then I evaluate and I try to figure out what went wrong, what happened, and where it came from. And that's my personal responsibility, not just to him, but to myself. I want to feel good in my body. So that's going forward. That's what I'm going to continue to do that. But I think it would be really helpful, maybe even if I just made that intentional time every morning, maybe even just before he goes to work, because that's a really hard time for us, to maybe just look at him and tell him the things that I do love about him and that I appreciate, and send him off for the day with that.
Yeah. Seems like that would mean a lot to him.
Yeah.
Okay, Martin, your turn.
I know that keep working on myself is going to be one of the main things. Discovering, like all the time, not all the time, but like, work on myself as much as I can, I suppose. And I'm willing to do it, and I'm eager to do it. I like to learn new things, and learning about me, I think, will be the greatest thing that I can do for me, but for us at the same time, right? Because then I'll be able to, for everybody, but I'll be able to really communicate my feelings a lot better, and pinpoint what my feelings are if I eventually get to that point, which I'm pretty sure I've already started, and it's gonna be all right.
So I want to give you guys this kind of like map. You know that just because we're meeting, we're only meeting twice. I'm trying to do twice per couple. This is our second time. I have a short time with you guys, and so I'm putting on more of a coaching hat than say couples counseling or therapy, which is ongoing and never ending, or it's you could take your time, you can slow down. Like we talked about, I don't know, 5 things in this session. If this was something where you guys saw me weekly, we would only talk about one and going deeper on that one thing, right? So we're cramming a lot in. But I want to leave you guys with something, and I want you guys to see, like, be able to pull back and see kind of like the macro picture, So both of you guys coming out of lots of trauma growing up, and then having very activated nervous systems, right? Martin, your pattern being that you're loving around Laura, meaning not expressing your state, not showing up, afraid of and avoiding conflict, right? Maybe also because there has been infidelity and you're just kind of scared to even, it's like the whole eggshells thing, right? So avoiding conflict. And so how Laura is taking that is you not being present, and you not showing yourself, and you not being authentic, right? And that doesn't create trust for her, it breaks it. So the practice of Martin showing yourself, hey, you know what, I'm having a really hard day, or I'm feeling this, or I'm feeling love, or I'm feeling jealous, whatever you're feeling, kind of expressing that with Laura, throughout the day, throughout the week, just doing life with her, showing her inside what's happening, your internal process, right? That will make her feel closer to you. And then you providing, and then Laura, you providing Martin with, it seems like he's very thirsty for acknowledgement, appreciation. And, when you were giving him some compliments, which seemed very genuine, that he kind of turned into a puppy and, and he used the word fuzzy, right? But I think that for him goes a long way, right? And so you may also hold still resentment and anger from past infidelity and cheat. I don't know, but your body may still not feel safe, and so as you guys kind of work toward that, then what you're doing is you're going to create new spaces, lay new tracks for a kind of a different dynamic, and then that's where there's a chance for this to really flourish or become new. I almost feel like this relationship that you guys have kind of has to die, and then a new relationship is born, and the people coming into the new relationship are different. So they're showing up differently, right? I don't like this idea of relationships being quote unquote saved or fixed. I like the idea of, okay, that 6 years of our life has now died. That relationship was, that was what that was for. That has died. We're building something new from scratch. How are we going to show up, and for many, the rules of the relationship is new. For many, a lot of people, right now talking about all different types of models. I'm not saying for you guys, but like clients I have who talk about open relationships, or people who have been monogamous, or now. So like the great thing about starting over fresh and new is you can talk about everything and kind of customize what works for you. And then two people showing up in a way that's honest to themselves. I think that's where you have a chance. And if you don't do that, this idea of saving a relationship, I think it's the weight of that is going to get people to snap back, and people old patterns, and then, it just keeps crumbling, and then people get too tired and they're like, I can't do the same.
Yeah. It gives us the freedom to be new. We're allowed to change. We can have new boundaries and have new likes and new preferences. And
everything we're talking about, by the way, is not 100% of your life. We're talking about one pie piece of your life, right? So Laura, you also now have to pursue passions, and now you might be ready to work. So getting something, whatever, career, all the other parts of your life that have nothing to do with this relationship, friendships. Yeah. Social, right? You do spend a lot of time right now on self-help, which is great. Don't drop that ball, but there's other things that you want to do to kind of build out your life. And then Martin, for you too, hobbies, friends, things besides just work. So we're not cardboard cutouts, but we're kind of whole people with full lives coming into this relationship. That's the other big piece of this that I think needs, and you guys individually have to work on that. When we have kids, life happens very fast. Schedules get very busy. We don't make it about ourselves, and we can lose our life in a matter of a few years. We're also sleep deprived. We're just focusing on child and getting the child dressed and fed and to school, and this like daily structure routine. Then we're exhausted at night, and suddenly, 3-4 years, and we're like, oh, I lost my friends. I have no passions. I have no, so that's very common. Yeah. It's not just you guys. It's very common. I can see how parenting can be a crowbar to not only our relationship, but also our relationship with ourselves.
Yeah. Well, I think that even when we were parenting the younger kids, like we weren't the same age as the other parents. So, I mean,
yeah, you guys were young.
We didn't really,
Yeah. No, I know you guys started really young.
Fit in anywhere,
yeah,
so
I get it. But the good news about that is you guys are still young.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
You get this, it's like the second act.
Yes, absolutely. That's exactly what it is. Yeah. But that's kind of like my overarching view or map. Check in with me in a few weeks or a month and let me know how things are going. And thank you so much for participating in this. I hope you guys got something out of it.
Yeah, we did.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah, it was a fun experience, and I can't say I would have thought of doing that myself, but
yeah, you needed a push.
Yeah, and I think it was it was a fun experience.
Cool. And I think so many people can relate to your guys' story as well. And I understand it's difficult to talk about these things, just in general. So
it's hard to get in depth with it in such a short amount of time.
Yes, of course.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Yeah. No, but it was fun, and hopefully somebody learned something.
Yeah. I have, of course.
Yeah.
Well, be well, and then email me and let me know how things are going in a couple weeks.
Okay.
All right.
Okay.
Awesome.
Thank you, guys.
Good luck with the conference.
Oh, thank you. Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye. You know what's challenging for me, but it's just I don't know if there's any way around it. Is working with couples, how much time I give them, and I don't want them to feel that they're signing up for something but only getting a couple sessions. But I can't just see one couple every week for multiple sessions. I'm trying to get in front of as many couples as I can, and I think that's why I picked the number 2 to do 2 sessions per couple, and so it's just to be a catalyst, a repositioning. If they get nothing out of the session, maybe they're reminded of something. It's a nudge, it's a push. It's not. 2 sessions is nothing really, right? So like. For some couples, it may be what they needed. For some couples, it may have done nothing. I don't know. But I've been thinking about it myself, and I feel like that feels like what I can give right now. So that's what it is. And I hope you got something out of Martin and Laura's story. I know there's a lot of stuff here that I can relate to. But the big one for me is activated nervous systems, and how if we are maneuvering in a fight or flight state based on old patterns and childhood and just kind of, how we're wired, how all of that impacts the relationship, and how we can start doing life around each other because we're trying to protect ourselves or to regulate our nervous system. So I think that's a huge factor in every relationship and something that we should all look at. Thank you for listening. If you want to watch these, they are uploaded to my YouTube at Being Your Therapist first, and then there are episodes of my podcast. Be well.